Hey everybody, this is Jenica from J&J Property Pros. This year we have the privilege of being a part of EchoMe's Business User Advisory Group 2023, and today we're going to be sharing some tips on watering. So how to properly water your planters. Let's get into it.
Whoops. Hold on. Yeah, that could just be, I guess, like an in-between.
Go. Tip number one, make sure you have a water source. So in this case, we have a spigot with a hose attachment. Always works out beautifully. If you don't, watering cans are always great because you want a slow, low trickle. So watering can's great, and again, preferred hose. Tip two, resist the urge to power wash your plants. A lot of times I see clients that really want to help water their planters, or just in general. A lot of times people think, if I'm really giving the plants a water, they'll be fine. But please resist the urge to do fire hydrant hose with your hose. So do not do, you don't want that pressure. You don't want to be able to power wash like this. That setting is a no-no. We typically like to recommend switching your hose to the gentle shower, or just a shower, or the gentlest of options that you have on your hose nozzle. So more like simulating rain. That's what you want. So that is a wonderful setting. Now for tip three, last but not least, we now have our hose set to gentle shower. We want to also avoid, this is one faux pas, to try not to do the overhead watering. The one reason for that, and yes, simulated rain, that's going to happen, but you don't want consistent overhead watering. The reason is all of your foliage will start or could potentially get diseased, or a fungus or bacteria form. For example, this is what can happen when the leaves are too wet. In this case, because it's been a rainy season, it just caused fungus and bacteria because leaves were too wet. But watering overhead can do the same thing. So you want to be careful and be wary of overhead watering.
Yeah. There you go. That's an example of just leaves being too wet. So you have to be careful and mindful of that.
The right way to water is to have that gentle cycle and go right in so that the water gets the roots. Again, avoiding getting water on the leaves. You also want to make sure you time your watering correctly. So once you've fully saturated your planter and you start seeing water drip from the bottom of your planter, you also want to make sure there's proper drainage in your planter. Because you don't want your roots to be sitting in water. So after you've got everything saturated, you are all done and you have happy plants. And now for your bonus tip. There are also certain times that you should be watering at. You want to avoid midday watering just because the sun is at its highest heat and it will just evaporate any watering that you do. So if you can avoid afternoon waterings, it's best you can, but it's just not the most effective watering you'll be able to do. Highly recommend early in the morning or late in the evening. That way all of your water seeps in and gives your planter the optimal water it needs. Thank you so much. Join us again soon for more plant tips.